I just wanted to do a Jesus TV live. I got the idea of Jesus TV from a guy named Greg Muller. To me, he's kind of a sacred clown, as they say, or just somebody who in society actually kind of makes you think, but not very many people listen to him. So you have to listen to him and to get the genius. But anyway, I've paid attention because I feel like Jesus told me to pay attention, and I've been really blessed from that. And so this is just a little episode of Jesus TV. I just wanted to do one thing, and that was to document a little win that I had today. I'm laughing because I can't believe I did it, but I took my mom to church, and it happened to be a fast and testimony meeting because of the holidays and everything like that. They were having the fast and testimony meeting now. Well, actually, it's the first, so never mind. That's the way it's supposed to be for some reason. But anyway, so yeah, it was the right day to have the fast and testimony meeting, and I didn't realize that. But and I generally really, this ward is, like everybody just really seems really polite, and I've really enjoyed most of them. Probably every meeting I've been to, there's been at least one of the speakers that was just like right on, and everybody's nice. So it's really great word for my mom. And when I'm up here on Sundays, which, is quite often, we typically try to go unless mom's not feeling well. But to my story, we went there and it was fast and testimony meeting. And after like the first or the second, or I think maybe like right, it was like right during the first testimony, when I realized, oh, they're doing testimony meeting, the Spirit told me, you need to go up there. And it's funny because I bore my testimony lots of times. And when I was on my mission and that part of my life, it was really easy to do, just, because we did it all the time. When I was a little kid, sometimes I would feel like I wanted to go up, but I was also embarrassed. I had actually, because I'm just kind of emotional, and I know a lot of people are different for different things, but anyway, I actually had cried before. One of the first times probably the first time I did my testimony in sacrament meeting, I cried. So I was like, that was dumb, but I remember as a kid, I just really wanted to tell people that I felt like Heavenly Father was real, and that I know he blessed me with my mom and dad. And for some reason, right when I talked about my mom and I looked over at her and she smiled at me, it's a touching memory, because I just felt like I just started crying as a kid, So when I was younger, before the missionary stage, I would sometimes feel this tugging, like you need to do it, and I would argue back and forth with it. And sometimes I would be brave and I'd do it, and I was usually glad I did. And there were a lot of times where I was like, nah, this is not Jesus talking to me right now. This is me wanting to get up there for some reason. What, to talk on the mic, I don't know, but why would I want to get up there? So I actually don't. But there were some times where I was like, I did it, even though I didn't, I argued about it. And I'm sure there was times where I did it right when I felt it. But today, I felt like I was supposed to go up and bear my testimony. Now, you got to understand, just as a reminder, I'm an excommunicated member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. I loved the church. I think it was good for my journey that it happened. I definitely deserved it. And so anyway, I just try to be really respectful when I go to church and realize that I'm not a member, but I do enjoy the meeting and they enjoy having me. I don't like raise my hand for stuff because just technically, unless they're, whatever, I'm trying to be like respectful of that. But so I almost talked myself out of it. And the Lord said to me in my heart, he said, how are you going to do the hard things I'm going to ask you to do if you can't do this? And it was like, oh man, it kind of ended the argument, because you keep wondering, like, is this really the Lord? If something like that comes in your mind, you're like, yeah, it's probably the Lord. because I wouldn't have wanted that said out loud. But anyway, so I got up, and I think it was a little bit surprising. I could almost see the audience, maybe a few of the members, kind of set up straight, and everybody else who was just distracted doing their thing. I could see them kind of as I turned the corner, and I leaned down to one of the stake representatives that was there. The bishop was out of town, the stake representative was there, and then the first and second counselor were there. But I just leaned down and I just said, "Hey, I'm just visiting." And they're like kind of looking at me like, yeah, you know. And I was like, "I'm not a member either, but if it's okay, you know." And they're like, yeah, go ahead. And so I got up there and I just bore my testimony. And what I felt to talk about was just how grateful I am for the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. I mean, I just wanted to share like how when I look at it as now I'm a 52-year-old man. I've been through 2 divorces, lots of heartache, lots of cool things, you know, interesting life like everybody has. And I just wanted to let people know, like, I guarantee I would not know Jesus the way I know him. And because I'm learning to understand him more and getting a better relationship with him and stuff, he is so much less of this kind of weird historical paintings icon and so much more the God of pure love. And that is, you feel him all around you and in you, and sure, it's a person, but it's everything else too. And all the good stuff, all the good moments and the feelings of clarity and pure love, that's the God that we know and we love. And but I would not have learned about him if it wasn't for the LDS Church. Maybe I would have, maybe a different way, yeah. I've met a lot of really spiritual people, but the way it did happen. Yeah, there was maybe a little too much shame. There were some of the obvious negative byproducts of hierarchical systems, and there are lots of positive byproducts too. And I just wanted to talk about. I just was talking about the positive ones, and I just told everybody that I was lucky and blessed that I got to be raised in the church, and that I had a neighborhood full of boys and girls my age, which was awesome. I had literally 7 or 8 friends my age, guy friends that I could go ride bikes with. I mean, you know, we went to school and had sports and youth events and all that stuff too, but we also, you know, rode our bikes through the desert. You know, I've lived in urban landscapes. We lived in a desert landscape with desert bushes and washes and snakes and tortoises. Every once in a while you'd find one riding your bikes around there. We rode motorcycles when we got older. Some of the people in our church congregation had, you know, more money than others. Some of them had like really nice equipment that we all got to share. We had horses that we got to ride through the desert canyons and up into the old mine shafts. I mean, I could go on and on, all the experiences out there in the deserts of, you know, southern Utah and southern Nevada, northern Arizona, California. But anyway, I digress. So my story is that I got up, I shared my testimony of how grateful I was for the LDS Church and for everything it had done for me and helping me get to know Jesus. And I did cry a little bit, but it wasn't obnoxious. I just admitted that I'm that type of a person. I just happen to get emotional easy. And it was crazy because I looked at the audience and it seemed like everyone was like, you know, I saw a few people kind of nodding their head like, yeah, it's fine. And that helped me to just kind of keep it together so I could, you know, not sob. It's never fun when that happens. And I was able to bring up some of the members' names that have been really loving to my mom, and tell people how much I love Jesus and how, you know, the kindness that their ward has shown, even that I've seen, even her neighbors and stuff, her people live not right across the street, and these things, they are always happy to look out for mom. And I mentioned Tara. I just mentioned one person was all Tara Parkins, who has been her like visiting sister, like, Relief Society type sister. Even when she lost that calling, she just kept visiting mom. We had their family over for dinner. They had a 18-year-old, a 15-year-old, a 13-year-old, and a 12-year-old, and then mom and dad. So that was really fun to have them over. And it was really cool because I said, because it was just for dinner, and it seemed like when the kids first kind of started coming in, they were maybe unsure of, they've been here before, but they grow so fast, and kind of unsure if they wanted to be here. Probably the parents told them to quit whining and just come, and they ended up playing. I ended up going out on the porch or out on the front patio with them, or front driveway with them, and played, 3 Flies Up and some games like that, and got them laughing and having a good time with each other. And I don't know, it was just a really good experience. And so I was able to just kind of just mention their family, and it was just neat. And I'm glad that I had the courage to get up and do it. And I felt like when I was done, like the Lord was like, yep, see, I told you, that's what I wanted you to do. And when I was walking back to my seat, there's a habit kind of, I feel like, for me to kind of put my head down, because I know people are kind of looking at you, but then I kind of remember, oh yeah, look up and meet a few people's eyes. I met some people's eyes who like just smiled at me and nodded, and two guys, both like almost at the same time on 2 different rows, put their hands out like this for me to give them a knuckles. So anyway, it was just a really great spirit at church today, and I was grateful that I was able to, share my feelings, and it was a win. All right, bye.